Hello, my friend. Welcome to my intuitively led home practice class. We move a little fast. This is a good paced vinyasa, so get ready to warm up the body. We begin in mountain pose, grounding down through the bottoms of the feet, feeling our foundation, connecting to our breath. On your next inhale, take the arms up overhead, interlacing fingers, palms press up, stepping the right leg over the left and taking a side bend. One breath, and exhale to uncross the legs. Keeping the arms lifted, inhale, and exhale, cactus the arms, drawing the shoulder blades together. Inhale, reach up, and taking the side bend to the other side. Exhale. One round of breath here. And then exhale, return back to mountain pose. Release the arms by the sides, sweep them overhead, beginning to warm up the shoulders and adding in the hips and the back, finding big movements here, whatever feels good. Warming up through the spine, maybe taking a standing cat-cow. Moving with the breath, just warming up. Taking about one more big round here, and we meet back in mountain pose, preparing for our first little balance sequence. Step the right knee into the chest, warming up the hip crease. And exhale, take the knee behind you, reaching for the ankle, getting a beautiful stretch in the front of the leg. Exhale, release the ankle, and take the knee in front of the hip, reaching the right arm back for a little twist. On your next breath, come back through center, crossing the right leg over the left, coming into our standing figure 4. We're here for about a few breaths, so make this fun. Maybe pulse a little bit, see if you can sink a little bit deeper. Really get into that glute. Already firing up the legs. Finding your strength. Exhale, back to mountain pose. Take a breath to reset. And inhale, reach the left knee into the chest. Lift it higher. And exhale, sweep it behind. Still lifting up through the crown of the head, keeping a nice long spine. And on your next breath, letting the knee float in front of the hips, reaching for the knee with the right hand as the left peels behind. Feeling this beautiful twist as the back opens. And exhale, back to front, coming into our standing figure 4, trying to not use the hands as much as we can. Controlling your movements, working through those stabilizer muscles. Beautiful, still using your breath. Breathe in through the nose. And on your exhale, gently unravel and come back into mountain pose. Inhale, reach the arms overhead, maybe taking a slight back bend. And exhale, flat back, dive down. Halfway lift. And plant the hands, stepping or jumping back to plank pose. Taking a nice, strong vinyasa. Lifting the chest, inhale. Exhale, roll over the toes, downward facing dog. Take this next breath or two to bend the knees and wake up the backs of the legs. Then ground down through the left foot and raise the right slightly behind you, just taking a few ankle rolls. Waking up through the joint, preparing ourselves for this practice ahead. Then send the leg up, three-legged dog, bend the knees, stack the hips, and send the foot to the other side of the room. Squeezing through the glutes, gripping through the fingers. Exhale, release the foot and pick up the left. Roll out the ankle. Find what feels good. Adding some simple movements into this practice. Straighten the leg, bend the knee, and stack the hips. Maybe trying to peek underneath the shoulder. Feeling this beautiful expansion. We'll be mixing some effort with the ease today, moving quickly and then taking a break in a nice stretch. Releasing into downward facing dog, drop down onto the knees, still tucking the toes, and roll the back. Hands come to the knees, and we're in this cat shape, really rounding through the back, opening between the scapula. One more breath. And on your next inhale, raise the chest, plant the hands behind the feet. Exhale, press through the hands to lift the chest. Taking big, deep breaths here. Feeling this nice long line in the front of the body. And when you're ready, releasing the hands, trying to rock onto the feet, coming into a malasana, garland pose. Sending the pelvis down into the mat, reaching up through the crown of the head. Finding space in the hips, maybe releasing some emotions or thoughts. Using your breath, connect back to your center. Empty out the mind and just feel what's going on in the body. Just notice what comes up for you. Walking the fingertips forward, extending through the back. We can stay here, or we can challenge ourselves by lifting the heels, coming into a balance. Squeezing through the glutes. Maybe we raise the arms if we feel stable here. Listening to your body. Breathing. Use your focus point. One more big breath. And exhale, release down, straightening the legs, turning the toes forward. Bending the left knee, reach the right arm up, finding a little forward fold, revolve, twist. Exhale, plant the hand and switch sides. Taking this moment to observe where your breath is. Exhale to release, plant the hands and walk the hands out to the front of the mat, plank pose. Connect to the core, tuck the elbows in by the sides, and take 3 chaturanga push-ups. It's challenging, but you can do it. Tap the nose to the mat. And we have one more, this time making this a vinyasa. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Beautiful. Raise the right leg, bend the knee, bring it into a high crescent lunge. Sweep the arms behind. Chest meets thigh. Inhale, reach the arms up, send the heel back. Beautiful. Exhale, sweep the arms to the side, opening the chest to the right. And find a nice, beautiful back bend, reaching the left arm overhead. Drop the knee, deepening this posture by coming into low lunge. One big breath here. Exhale, windmill the arms around, plant them on the inside of the foot, and lift the back knee up, coming into lizard pose. Maybe taking a slight rock on the back foot to help you open up the hips. Staying here or coming down onto the elbows if that's accessible to you. Only one more breath. And then we gently open up the knee, coming onto the outer edge of the right foot. We can drop the knee down if that feels better. If we can open more. Exhale, back to center. Picking up the left knee and coming into plank pose. Taking a nice controlled vinyasa to repeat on the other side. We meet in downward facing dog. Send the left leg up high and bring the knee in through the chest. Sweep the arms behind, but not dumping into the hips, nice and active. Inhale, high crescent lunge, beautiful long lines, take up space. Exhale, revolve, sending the fingertips out to either side of the room. And taking our side bend, letting the left hand come down the leg. Then releasing the knee to the mat, making our way into our low lunge. Breathing. And windmilling around, coming into lizard pose, whichever variation suits your practice today. Take a little body scan right now and notice what you're feeling. Are you feeling breath coming out of your nostrils or the blood pumping in your body? Taking this time to observe yourself, body and mind. We have one more big breath here. And then gently open up the knee, coming onto the outer edge of the left foot. Releasing with every breath. Coming back to center and sweeping the left leg back to the right onto the knees. Coming through tabletop to slide the hands out and melt the chest down into puppy pose. Taking a few moments in the middle of this practice to find a few gentle stretches. Remembering to find some ease in the midst of all the effort. To find some calm in the middle of chaos. Practicing this back and forth. Use this next exhale to really let go of any tension in the shoulders and in the face. Let yourself become still here. And on your next exhale, gently press back into child pose, steepling the fingertips, opening up the shoulders and the arms. Maybe the sides of the rib cage as we reach the hands forward. Inhale to lift the chest, and exhale, take the hands to the right side. Making your way through center to come over to the left. Still sending the hips back, finding a nice long spine. Taking one more big full body breath before lifting the chest, coming back through center and into tabletop. Ground down through the tops of the feet, connect to the core, and lift the knees off the mat. Hold here. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release the knees, send the hips back. Inhale, reach the arms up. And exhale, find a slight back bend. Sending the pelvis forward, moving slowly. Letting yourself deepen as you breathe. Beautiful. Release, coming to sit on the heels, taking hands to heart center. I invite you to close the eyes for a moment here, coming back within. Using your breath as a tool to anchor you in this moment on the mat. Open the eyes, come up onto the knees, and step the left foot up into a 90-90 lunge. Kickstand the other leg behind you as you reach the right arm over into this little extended side angle variation. Hold here for a breath. And then exhale, windmill around, extending the leg long, reaching the left arm overhead. Ground down through this foot and come into side plank, nice and strong, stacking the feet, raising the hips up. Then bending the top knee, placing the foot on the leg, nice and strong, one big breath. Exhale, plant that foot in front of the leg and reach for the other foot. Exhale, arm overhead. Inhale towards the foot. One more time. Then come into a low lunge, left knee in front, sweeping the arms up. Exhale, heart center. Sending the hips down and forward. And on your next breath, taking the elbow to the outside edge of the knee, finding a big twist. Sending your awareness to the lower spine as we wring everything out. And exhale, return to the front of the mat, lifting the arms and sending the hips back, half splits. Sweep the chest forward, seeing if we can keep our integrity here, not using the arms to stabilize. Nice and strong, balancing strength and stretch. One more big breath. And then gently lift the chest, step the left knee back, and step the right up, 90-90 lunge. Coming into our extended side angle variation. Big, beautiful breath. And exhale, windmill around, straightening the front leg. Maybe feeling some heat as we're firing up the core. Coming into our side plank pose. Stacking the feet. Beautiful. Lifting the knee. Holding here for a breath. You got this. Then plant the foot in front of the leg and reach back for the foot. Overhead. Moving with the breath. Finding your natural flow. One more. And then coming into your low lunge. Sweeping the arms up high, big inhale. And exhale, heart center. Anjali Mudra. Feeling the energy moving around inside as it transforms and awakens. Exhale to twist. Taking your gaze where it naturally goes. Just feeling the body with every breath. On your next exhale, coming back to center and sending the hips back, Half splits, flexing the right foot back at the face. Feeling yourself become stronger. Taking our last breath before coming into an option for crow pose and headstand. So stepping up to the top of the mat, planting the hands, lifting the heels, trying to tuck the knees into the elbows as you begin to shift your weight forward, letting the toes lift off the mat and tucking the heels into the hips. Using your breath. And maybe if we would like to try and lower down onto the head, coming into a tripod headstand. From here, I'll be taking chaturanga and a vinyasa, but you can stay here and play in headstand if you'd like. Making this practice your own. We meet in downward facing dog or dolphin, depending on where you are in your practice. If you're with me in dolphin, we can lift the right leg high, opening up the hips, pressing through the forearms, sending the left leg up, working through the back, finding strength in the shoulders, and then taking a rest for a few breaths in dolphin pose. Maybe taking a moment to catch your breath. Gently lowering to the knees and making your way into boat pose. We're not done yet. Shins parallel to the mat, taking the chest as close to the legs as you can. 3, 2, 1. Plant the feet, send the hips up, reverse tabletop. Squeeze through the glutes, ground down through the hands. One more breath. Exhale, release the hips down. Turn to the side of the mat, coming into easy seat. Taking a moment here to ground down through the sit bones. And if fire log pose is in our practice, we can cross the right leg on top of the left, further opening through the glutes and the groins. Keeping length in the spine, feeling grounded here. Again, taking notice of the pace and natural rhythm of your breath. It'll begin to slow itself down soon as we start to cool down the body. Maybe taking a side bend, reaching the left arm overhead and the right. Uncrossing fire log pose, taking the soles of the feet together for a balancing bound angle. Reaching the feet up as high as we can. Breathing. One of our last challenges for this practice. And we can stay here, or maybe we extend the legs, straightening them, grabbing onto the big toes. Pulling the chest between the legs. And on your next exhale, bend the knees, crossing the left leg on top of the right, fire log pose. Taking a moment to find your position here, what's comfortable for you, before lifting up through the crown. Sending your awareness to the hips, the lower spine, being with your breath, enjoying these last few minutes of our practice before we go on with the rest of our day. And taking a heart opener, interlace the hands behind the back, lifting the chest high, opening your center of love and compassion, breathing into the space between the collarbones. Exhale to release and coming into staff pose, flexing the feet, reaching the hands up, inhale, nice long spine, and exhale, slowly forward fold, only to the spot where we can keep a nice spine. Hands lifted in the air, very active here. And on your next exhale, send the arms in front of the chest and slowly roll down onto the back. Hugging the knees into the chest, we can take little hip circles or anything else that feels good here. Listening to your body, finding anything it needs to counter this practice and feel balanced. Coming into dead bug pose, extending the legs and reaching the fingertips up towards the ceiling. Letting the blood flow from the extremities back down towards the heart and the head. Energizing and recirculating. Enjoying the support of the mat on the lower back. And coming into a twist, any twist that feels good. Wrapping the right leg around the left and letting the knees fall to the left side. If this is too intense, we can unravel the legs and take any other variation. Just letting yourself breathe and be. Finding gentle, easy breaths. And slowly, with your next exhale, rolling onto the back and finding shoelace pose. Stacking knees and reaching for the feet, pulling them into the chest. Waking up the glutes, saying hello. Maybe noticing your breath has reached its natural rhythm, or maybe it's still a little high. Exhale to unravel and make your way into your twist on your right side. Observing anything that came up for you today. Or maybe just enjoying the silence, the stillness. This feeling of complete and utter surrender. And when you're ready, gently roll onto the back, stacking knees and finding shoelace pose. Pulling the feet into the hips. Releasing tension in the jaw, in the face. Sending your breath to your hips and your glutes. And when you're ready, unraveling, sending the soles of the feet together then releasing into reclined bound angle. Letting all of the limbs become heavy as we listen to the breath in the back of the throat, feeling it ebb and flow through the nostrils as it fills the belly and the lungs. Thank you for joining me in this practice today. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you again soon.